must pursue common sense measures that protect the constitutional rights of law-abiding Americans while keeping guns out of the hands of those who pose a threat to themselves and to others. We must strive to create a culture in our country that cherishes life and condemns violence and embraces dignity.
President Trump there yesterday meeting with the U.S. governors, vowing to turn grief into action when it comes to school safety in the wake of what happened in Florida. Republican Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin was at the meeting. Joins us right now from our nation's capital. Governor, good morning to you.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
So what did you think of the president?
I was impressed by his willingness to listen and his true, genuine concern for this topic of conversation. He's very good at opening his ear to the governors of this country and looking to us for guidance on things that affect us at the state level.
Now, you don't see this as just a gun issue, as many do. You see this as a total package, right?
To me, again, we have to look at what are the underlying causes. This would be like finding a person lying in the street, dead. We can identify the fact that that is their current condition, but what led to this? What is the backstory? What has created this instance? And here we have young people being killed in schools. Yes, we understand a gun was used in certain instances, these most recent in particular, but what is the cultural reason for this? What are we doing or not doing as a society, individually and collectively, to protect and arm our young people, literally, in this, or figuratively in this sense, with the skills they need to handle the pressures of being young?
Yeah. What about the president's suggestion that some qualified teachers be armed in the schools?
I think on a voluntary basis, purely volitional, I think it's a very good idea and worthy of being considered. I think teachers who are willing should go through an extensive training, far above and beyond what it takes to be a concealed carry gun owner, should go through a battery of psychiatric tests to ensure that they are mentally able. Because not just carrying concealed, not just handling a pressure, but doing it in a situation with students in a school takes a special degree of training. But it shouldn't just be teachers. It should be available to administrators, custodians, coaches, anyone inside that school on a voluntary basis. I think we would be foolish not to consider that as a possibility.
Governor, I saw one governor, I believe from Washington State yesterday, stand up. I think he was going to ask a question, but ultimately he was making a point to the president. And that was that he had spoken to a number of teachers. They didn't want to be armed. They didn't want that responsibility. And he also told the president to stop tweeting so much.
Yeah, again, that's gracious of him to give advice. I'll reserve my thoughts as to what I thought of that particular showboating. But I will say this. There are many teachers in that state. I know where he's from, and I will tell you straight up, I have a brother who lives in that state. There are plenty of teachers who volitionally would want to and would be willing to be an alternative to seeing children slaughtered in gun-free zones, which is what we now have in schools.
All right. He is the governor of the great state of Kentucky, Matt Bevin. Sir, thank you very much for joining us today from our nation's capital.
Thank you.